Hey guys, this is Jen DeLeon, and today I am sitting with T-Boz, and we are going to do a life lessons. How are you doing today?
I am awesome. How about you?
Good. Well, first, thank you for coming. I know she had a long ass press day, and I'm her last one, and I really just appreciate how much time and support you've given me for all my interviews and all that.
Thank you for having me and thinking of me.
So outside T-Boz Unplugged, you also have your book coming out
Yes.
too, and that's coming out in September. So it's called The Sick Life. Let's talk about what can they expect from this book. I love that you're very open about everything, and I'm going to get into that later. So let's talk about the book.
Now, the book has a dual meaning. A sick life isn't just bad as in, yes, I do have a non-curable disease, sickle cell, but a sick life as in I've worked with Michael Jackson, I've traveled the world in TLC, the FBI was looking for me and crashed through my mom's house, and you want to know why little old me had such problems. I kind of tell it all in this book, and I'm very vulnerable and open. It was therapeutic one for me because I never have been open about my hospital stays. I'm the type of person, people say I have a hard exterior, and it's not that. It's just that I'm the type of person that doesn't look back and I move forward. I can't get nowhere, especially when you have a disease like mine, if I'm always looking back or feeling sorry for myself. So I just leave it where it was and I move forward, And I really just don't talk about it. And so now I'm talking about the times I almost died, the ICU visits. I'm also talking about the behind the scene TLC stories that, you wanted to know about and you didn't quite know what happened, but you knew something fishy was happening. Some people might get upset. Like, there's some stories about my dad, but sometimes when you read about yourself, you may think you didn't hurt somebody a certain way, but if you read about yourself, that's, you can't say what you did to someone else and their version of what you did. You may have saw it different, but if someone says you hurt me, you should listen, even if you don't think you did. So I'm sure some people like that won't be happy with some of the stories, but it made me who I am. And I'm not telling it because I'm trying to be messy. I'm explaining how I got to where I am today and how I became the woman I am today, where my strength comes from, and my mom and my kids and it's basically, to sum it all up, it's a girl, a mother, a daughter, a friend, a sister who wants something so bad that she was born to do in her soul, but she has something stopping her every step of the way.
What I liked what you said when you said you decide to be vulnerable with this and open. So what was that point where you're like, okay, it's time to just let it out? What was it? A specific memory? Because even whether that's your situation or anybody's situation, a lot of people don't like sharing their personal life, especially with how social media is. It's like people only like showing the good. So what encouraged you to want to just tell like the hard parts and the struggles and open up about that?
I would be a lying heifer if I sat here and act like everything I did was nice or wasn't mean at one point, or if I didn't punch somebody in the face. I broke this girl's jaw, and I told you why in my book. Was I right? No. Did she start it? Yeah. And I beat her ass for a reason, and I'm going to tell you in that book why. But I put it in biblical terms. I call it BC and AC, before chase and after chase and chance. Because in BC, I was off the chain, but I'm in AC now. After my children, I'm a better person. I'm working on my temper. So I'm telling my good and my bad, because without my bad, I wouldn't know what good was. And I had to right my wrongs. So I am telling you all my flaws and everything because it still makes me who I am. I would be hypocritical if I was going to be ashamed of who I was, because it's who I am and it's what I did. But the most important question is, did I learn from it? Would I do it again? No. And hopefully it'll help someone else not make the same mistakes I am. And the reason I chose to do it now is because the experiences that I have been through, I believe that I am here to help people, because doctors can't even tell you why I'm here. They'll walk out of the room and say, I don't know how the hell she's breathing or how she even snapped back. And I didn't do it. But she's here and she's okay. So that must mean I have a testimony to share. I don't know why I was picked to go through whatever I went through, but God pulled me through. I don't force my beliefs on anyone, but my beliefs are that I pray, I have faith, and that miracles happen every day because I'm a walking miracle. So I'm choosing to tell my story because I feel like I owe people that, because I survived, and why wouldn't I? I'm supposed to do something with that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And you know what you said, you're like, you don't like pushing your beliefs on people. That's how I felt. And you know, in the industry we're in, I've talked about this before, it's like people feel very, very uncomfortable when you bring that kind of stuff up. And I love that you said you do have a purpose. So let's talk about tell me about a story where it was like you knew like that was God. Like you said, doctors don't know, but it's like a doctor could have told you like, oh, there's no way, but it's like, what did God tell you? And what happened in that moment? What were those signs where you were like, that was 1,000% God, and you just had that faith and you didn't care what anybody said?
Well, I'll start with my mom, because my mom had the faith that I didn't know. I was still being taught. I was 7 years old, and the first time I got bad news, the doctor diagnosed me with some form of sickle cell, but he said something, and you know, girl, you can look anything up on Google. Google be blank as hell when you put this word in, so it still doesn't exist. What's the last thing Amazon? I love Amazon. I'm an Amazon crackhead. I live on Amazon Prime, y'all. Y'all should get me for a representative, I'm telling you. No, but, so you can't Google it, right?
Yeah.
So he looks at my mom and me and says, her life expectancy isn't going to be over 30. She's not going to make it. She's going to be disabled her whole life, and she will never have kids. And my mom looked at me and said, don't listen to that. We'll talk in the car. God has the last say-so of your life, and I'll explain later. And I said, yeah, because I'm going to be on TV. What are you talking about? That ain't my story, you know. Because ever since I was 7, I saw myself clearly in a dream all the time, vivid, clear. Yeah. That I was going to be on TV and on stage. So I was like, what the hell is he talking about? So, needless to say, the faith came from her first. Okay. And that was instilled in me. And, you know, my mom's the kind of person, she lets you go out and figure things out on your own still. Like, she'll plant the seed, but she'll let you grow on your own. Like, she's not going to push you like, you better believe this. You can go out and see yourself, and you'll come back and understand. Yeah. So bump your head a couple times, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I bumped my head, and I always came back. Like, yeah, my mama was right. But my faith, the last one was, I was in the hospital for 4 months. All my organs were failing. I wasn't doing good. And I was depressed, which is totally not me. And, you know, they had pastors praying over me and everything. You know, the doctors didn't know if I was going to make it. And I don't know what happened, but I saw this girl go up the hallway. Okay. Right? Yeah. And I was like, somebody died, because I remember that face when my grandma died on this same floor. And I was like, so I told the nurse, come here, what happened? She was like, a lady your same age with a daughter the same age as you. She just died from cancer. She thought she had irritable bowel syndrome. And she found out, and within a week, she was dead. And something in me said, shit, I ain't about to die up in here like that. I was like, I'm going home with my daughter. I'm only 30-something. I'm only 32. You know, I got stuff to do. So the mind over matter, because I take myself to this place, and it's real peaceful, and it's real pretty, has waterfalls and sun, and I love beaches and water. And every time I don't feel good, I imagine that's where I want to be. And so I pictured this place, and I was like, I'm working towards to get out here. I'm working towards to get out here. And then instead of like waddling in my sorrow and actually conforming or going for whatever was taking place in my body, I decided that day that I was going to fight, and this wasn't going to be my story. And something in me, which wasn't me, I don't know. There's only 2 times I've ever felt peace in my life, and I didn't do it. It was the day I had brain tumor surgery, and I prayed that I wouldn't be afraid, and that I would get through this to come back and raise my daughter. I had no emotions, and I can't explain it to this day, because I've never felt this ever before, except for those 2 times. I had no emotions. I didn't care about anything. I was smiling. My family was worried. I was just fine. You know, and that day that I saw that girl, you know, her family upset because she died, and I prayed. I said one prayer, and I was like, I want to get out of here. And I was out in a week. My organs started coming back, and the doctors was like, dude, I'm telling you, Like
Wow.
her organs, her kidneys, lungs, all I was jacked up.
Everything, yeah.
And everything came back 100%. My blood, everything. The doctors was like, we didn't do it. Like I had a whole team, and all of them was like, we didn't have nothing to
didn't
do
do
with
it?
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I was home. I had a long healing process, but that's okay. But I was out.
But you survived, and you're here.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
that's
can't explain to you how I got out either, and how my organs turned around, because it wasn't one organ, it was multiple. So like stuff like that happens to me.
And you know, it's crazy. What I'm learning lately is that whole thing about mind over matter. It's what that energy you put out there. It's you can really. That's what you're going to get. So now I used to always, I would be like, if there was like any doubt, I would speak it, and then of course it wouldn't work out. So I always tell people like, be careful what you say and like what you wish.
Words are so powerful. You gotta be careful what you say. And if you notice anybody who talked about dying and I'ma die, they actually died.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like we can take it to Tupac and all that. Like, and it happens. Like, so you really got to be careful. And your mind is a powerful tool. Seriously, you can tap into the depth of things you don't even know is in you. I'm telling you, especially when you like are faced with death. If you can face death, you can face anything, because that's like forever. You're gone forever. So that's why a lot of stuff don't bother me, because I've been up against the worst. So what, like talking about me? What's that? Like, girl, take a break. Child, I almost died. What you talking about? You know?
Yeah, I've always looked. You know, you're just always positive. So, I mean, I know that you're talking about your whole life in this book, but if there's one particular lesson that you would have to pass along to your fans, what was your biggest lesson in life?
You know, when I talk to my daughter, you know, a lot of people are hard on themselves, like as far as giving up and not believing in themselves. And anything you want to do or believe in life, first I always say it's a talent to know when you're not talented. That's talent. Because, like, be real with yourself. Now, first of all, that's where it starts. Know that your ass can't do something. Don't be trying to do the unbelievable, but be realistic. Let's start there. But with that being said, if you don't believe in yourself or respect yourself, why should I or anybody else? You know what I'm saying? And then some people don't understand, like, you know how many successful people have failed at something, but it's really not so-called a failure because I got off my behind and I tried in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, you will never know unless you try. That's success within itself. It's not always about always achieving the ending goal. It's working towards goals, because sometimes you have to learn lessons to get there. Now, say like in my music, you know, career and industry, like, I'm so happy I went through all that Pebble stuff and all that life lessons with record companies at 19 versus 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have time to grow, live, learn. But without some of them mistakes, that's what people need to understand. Everything ain't gonna be perfect. That's a part of life. Without you having something bad happen, how the hell would you know what good was if you never had anything bad? You know what I'm saying? How would you know how to be happy if you've never been sad? So everything has the opposite. There's just no in-betweens. It's either black, white. It's either good, bad. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the thing with most people is they won't even try because they're afraid and fearful, and they don't believe. And that goes back into faith and believing in yourself. And even if you don't believe in God, take something from somebody positive. Like, they got libraries, Google's, books. They got inspirational people. They got people doing interviews like me. Take something from other people.
It's living proof like that it can
And
happen,
another mistake, stop trying to be like people. Like, like, this is my thing. I would look at Michael Jackson and admire what he's doing. And I don't want to actually be him. I want what he's doing and what he has. He's gonna make me wanna go after things like, I wanna be my own trendsetter. So he got people wearing gloves and all that. So I want people to wanna wear my hairstyle. Or I want people to, like, that's what I took from him. I'm not trying to be him. Be yourself. People are not themselves. All these heifers on Instagram look alike. All y'all hoes look like Jessica Rabbit. And then Some of y'all are deformed, because this is what the problem is. I'm trying to understand, and I'm a really brave girl. You be asking me, I'm cool with you wanting to alter something if it's for yourself. But what heifers ain't figuring out, they be like, but I have a big ass and titties now. Can you cuss on here? Because I've been cussing.
You can do whatever you
want.
want.
You have a big ass and titties now, but he still cheated on me, girl. It ain't about the booty.
It's not about that.
Because there's an ass everywhere. What about your innards? Can you cook?
Yeah.
You know, are you a good person?
Yeah. And it's funny that you go on Instagram first. It's so sad, like what that's turned into, even like you said, whether it's the boobs or the ass or having to have millions of followers or having to, just compromise all this stuff. It's like, it's all turned into that I'm like, this is why.
But you know what really irks me? When you had the first booty that looked good, what the hell made you go back and get the second one that's lopsided and it's like a ball on a stick and now your ass look crazy? Like, what is that about? Like, that's some like insecure, like fucked up shit. Like, the fact that your ass was nicely shaped, even with the first fake booty, but stop right there. But now you look like you got doo-doo plops in your pants. You looking knock-kneed and shit. Like, excuse me, where am I going? Like, you about to trip over each other? Like, and then what's with these damn fucking cheekbones? Everybody don't need them high-ass cheekbones. Some people's face ain't made for that. Y'all need to know when your ass do not look good with some shit. See, I'm honest with myself. I know when my ass is fat. I know when I'm tired. I'll tell you. But what I'm not gonna do is, I know I don't look good with long hair. That's why y'all don't ever see me with it, because my ass don't look good with it. Now, it'll be cute up in a pony, but see, I'm real with myself. Exactly. And a lot of more people, that's what goes back into what we use. Jasmine, you gotta be real with yourself first. You gotta realize you have a problem in order to fix it. But the level of insecurity, because these kids, when I talk to them, they're trying to reach a goal that doesn't exist. We all are flawed. None of us are perfect. These girls are shaping their bodies, getting surgery to look a certain way. Why? Because they were insecure about that thing. That's like a guy with a new car. He wants to go show off to get hoes or whatever. Girls like to show their new titties and their new butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? But when your ass is looking deformed, y'all can't see that shit? Like, when I look in the mirror, I'll be like, the doctor done fucked me up. I would be going back to reduce that shit. Y'all need to know when the ass is too big. And if that's all men are looking at and that's all he wants from you, that says about you a lot about your character and his.
Yeah, like why would you want to be with a person that
just wants your lopsided
like.
Ass cheek? Yeah. What's hot about that? So I can't, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand it.
Exactly. Was there ever a time in your life where you were insecure? Because insecurity is, like a common thing. And then how did you overcome those insecurities where it was like, what made you, because I mean, even I think everybody in this room really has faced some kind of insecurity where it's like you felt like you weren't good enough or there was something better. So it's like, how did you overcome that mind state?
The song I wrote, I'm Pretty, was about me.
Yeah.
It was my situation. Yeah. And when I wrote that poem and I showed Dallas and we converted it into a song, it went #1. And it was on top 10 for a long time. And I said, well, shit, a lot of people feel like I do.
That's what I realized when you read the more open stuff or you listen to songs that are more personal. It's like, because there's too many people that are afraid to put that out there. That's why I've always admired how open you are about everything. Because it's like, no one has the courage to do that.
Because it really, I'd rather be the person to tell the truth about myself than the person pretending I'm a certain way that I'm not. You can't tell me let's be real. Every fucking person who been under the knife was insecure about some shit they had. That's why you fixed it. Yeah. Be a G about it. Stop lying. Yeah. You didn't like your titties. That's why you made them bigger. You didn't like your ass. That's why you wanted a bigger one or a nicer one. Shit, I don't like shit about myself. Yeah. But I still have insecurities. But it's a work in progress every day. And it still goes back to being honest with yourself. Like, my whole thing is, I ain't knocking you for doing nothing, but be real about why you doing it, though. Yeah. Don't be like, oh, I'm a bad bitch. Bitch, you know good and well. I'm the baddest bitch. Oh, you didn't feel that way before you got them titties and that ass, though, did you? Exactly. They wasn't hollering all that. But in a nice stack and rack and all that don't make you perfect. Because actually, beauty starts within. You could be the most beautiful, baddest heifer on the planet, but if you're ugly on the inside, you ain't worth much.
Exactly.
So looks only get you so far, and that shit fade too, and gravity comes even with fake shit, okay? So at the end of the day, you better work on them innards, honey, you know? I'm just saying, but I say insecurities, I have them. I got dark circles. Comes in my family. When I was at school, people didn't understand I had sickle cell. They used to be like, haha, you look like Batman and Robin. That shit funny now, but it wasn't funny when I was They used to put like black eyeliner on their eyes. Kids are cruel as hell. Kids be the first one to tell the truth, boy, but that shit funny now. But yeah, so, but back then it was mean.
Yeah.
And most of us in our adult life have problems from stuff that stemmed from our childhood. Most of our issues was in elementary school, grade school, and high school when people was mean to us, and we held on to that shit. Like that's when you start getting cheated on and people talking about you and being messy, and you'd be like, and I was like, Mom, the guys aren't gonna like me because of my dark circles. Honey, I count. Men don't care if you got gunshot wounds, bullet holes, C-section. They will come and screw you in a minute. Stretch marks, they don't give a fuck. Okay, some of them say, she got tire marks on her ass. They don't care. I put them stretch marks there. You just gotta find the right man for you, honey. You just got to surround yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself and build you up. And know that no one's perfect. All the most beautiful people in the world are not perfect and they're flawed. That's why I wrote them pretty, because society has a way of making us feel like we're not good enough to fit in and that we're all something we are not. Everybody has an insecurity and everybody has a flaw.
Exactly.
No matter what.
Exactly. Well, I feel like you gave amazing life lessons. I feel like you gave like 20, 25 life lessons, both serious and social media and all that. Yeah, we got to talk shit. But I really, like I said, I really just do appreciate you taking the time. I know that so many people are going to be, I mean, people are already inspired by your story, but even in this interview alone, it's like I took away so much from myself that I was like, damn. So thank you so much. Congratulations on everything. And I'm looking forward to the book in September. Can they like pre-order right now, or is that out yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, ignore I said that, but it's coming out in September. And before you go, I have this. I don't know if you like this stuff, but
I love all the prizes. Look.
It's have you heard of Quest Nutrition?
No.
Okay, so
wow.
it's like a,
This whole thing is
it's a bunch of
Shut the front door. What you talking about? And I'm trying to get slim and trim and also light skin.
So it's funny because I don't like eating healthy, but the bars basically what you can do is you can microwave them. So there's some stuff that tastes like waffles and all this stuff. So it's unique. Like
no, this is right on time because we're all doing this. My brother just turned into a vegan.
Okay.
And I'm a baby vegetarian. We're gonna take baby steps because once again, I'm being real with myself. If my mom cooks some oxtails, I'm gonna eat it. You know, but I'm not a meat lover, but I'm trying to clean out my system. So this is right on time. So this is confirmation that I need to get my shit together. Thank you. I love it.
Thanks again, and I'll see you. I'm sure you'll be back here soon.
Yes, have me back. Let's talk some more.